With that, let us bring in criminal defense attorney Lexie Rigden. Lexie, great to see you here as always. The latest piece of information coming out has really nothing to do with Stormy Daniels necessarily. It's the fact that Karen McDougal will no longer be a prosecution witness. Is McDougal out because Stormy was such a disaster that the prosecution doesn't want to make the same mistake twice?
Well, Stormy's relevance was really questionable to begin with, and I think that Karen McDougal has even less relevance. And so it was the right call to not have her testify because she really has nothing to do with this. I understand that she was paid by AMI and she got kind of a sweet gig and got paid $150,000, but that has really nothing to do with the issues at heart here. And that sort of highlights also what you just said about Stormy's testimony, which was, at times extremely irrelevant, prejudicial, and you have to wonder if there are people on that jury who, liberal as they may be, which is what everybody is assuming based on the jury pool, there's got to be one or two of them that have a shred of humanity and feel for Donald Trump having to sit there and have allegations of his personal life laid bare before the world.
So Trump's lawyers yesterday filed a second motion for a mistrial. The judge denied it, but then also yelled at Trump's lawyers and said that you should have objected to more of the seedy things that Stormy Daniels was saying. What do you think about all of that?
I was actually shocked when I read that because, this is obviously, Donald Trump is obviously a client who's very engaged in the litigation. Some clients are more engaged than others. He's probably furious at his lawyers this morning for even the judge saying, hey, where were you guys? Why didn't you object more? And one of the specific questions about whether Trump used protection during the alleged encounter was not objected to by the defense. And the judge actually said, for the life of me, I can't understand why this wasn't objected to. And although I don't agree with many things that Judge Merchan does, I have to agree with him there. Now, by the same token, the judge would have had the authority to say, all right, counsel, let's come to sidebar and let's talk about this and kind of put the kibosh on that type of testimony. But I just think it underscores that this kind of went off the rails during her testimony and kind of ventured into a dark territory where she was insinuating that she was in a room with Trump and didn't really want to be there and didn't really want to engage in the activity, but she did anyway. So I don't blame them for making a motion for a mistrial. It's incredibly prejudicial, and it would definitely be an issue for appeal if he's convicted.
I'll cut him a little slack there on the Trump defense team. They did a blanket objection at the beginning, so they didn't have to object to every single thing. And I felt like the judge denied that, but then got on the attorney's cases for not objecting. To your point, Lexie, it is a mess. I want to get your thoughts on this, though. The Missouri Attorney General has launched a probe into the communications between the DOJ and the prosecutors targeting former President Trump. Here is Andrew Bailey explaining his investigation. Listen.
We have every reason to believe that this is a coordinated political attack emanating from Biden's corrupt Department of Justice. We knew that the cases themselves were illicit witch hunt prosecutions, but now we have every reason to believe that the prosecutors themselves are illicitly motivated as well. We want records between Jack Smith, the Department of Justice, Alvin Bragg, Matthew Colangelo, Fannie Willis. We need to lay it all on the table so that the public can understand the illicit motivations of the prosecutors themselves.
Lexie, if there is a paper trail confirming what A.G. Bailey and so many of us have suspected for a very long time, that there is something happening here in concert, what happens next? What are the consequences to these prosecutors and their cases?
Well, it really kind of depends on where they are in the pipeline. Of course, the Georgia Fannie Willis issue, that case has sort of been halted by means of the interlocutory appeal. And so any documents that they're able to get may come into play there. It could be an appellate issue. I mean, we know that Trump's lawyers are very good at finding legal issues and are successful in a lot of ways. I mean, the interlocutory appeal they filed, those aren't just granted as a matter of course. There has to actually be a reason to put a pause on litigation. So his lawyers are very good. He's got a lot of talented lawyers, and whatever they find, I have no doubt that they are going to try to use that to their legal advantage.
Yeah, we do know that Matthew Colangelo was a top official at the Department of Justice and now is leading Alvin Bragg's prosecution, which raised the antennas of some people.
He went from number 3 at Justice to a local DA's office. That doesn't happen.
Also, something else that we learned yesterday when it comes to the New York trial is that Stormy Daniels speaks to dead people as well. She says that she's a medium.
Who amongst us doesn't, Lexie Rigden?
There's something for everybody
She's got
in that
a lot
trial.
of talent.
My goodness. Lexie, thank you so much.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.